What's up, everybody? We're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to a Metalhead's Journey. Hey, sorry we missed you guys last week with the with our top 50 metal albums list. But we're back. We're back and better than ever this week. We're on to number 14. This is the band Rainbow with the album Rising.
Man.
Yeah.
Dave, why'd you make a face?
No, I'm just it's crazy because I feel like we've been doing this for a while, but man, we're at the cream of the crop at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah,
As
it's
the
good.
Macho Man would say.
We're almost at top 10.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, so we're here for Rainbow. The album is called Rising here. Let's get into a little bit of the history of the band, and then we'll hit the metal rundown. So we have Rainbow, formed in 1975, is a British rock supergroup from London. The band was established in the aftermath of Richie Blackmore leaving Deep Purple. They originally featured 4 members of the band Elf, which included Ronnie James Dio. But after the release of their self-titled album, Blackmore fired everybody, except for Dio, as you do, obviously. Over the years, Rainbow has seen many personnel changes, with each record being recorded with a different lineup, leaving Blackmore as the only constant member of the band. Rainbow's released 8 studio albums, including their most recent release, Stranger and Us All, released in 1995. They've sold over 28 million records worldwide. Rising, released in 1976, is the band's second studio album. Blackmore only retained Dio from the previous album lineup. This album features Dio on vocals, Richie Blackmore on guitars, Cozy Powell on drums, Jimmy Bain on bass, and Tony Carey on keyboards. Interesting little tidbit here. In issue number 4, so only the 4th ever issue of Kerrang! Magazine, this came out October 1981. Rising was voted the greatest heavy metal album of all time. We all quit texting over here? Christ almighty. At least tell me you're going to do it, dude, so I'll turn my watch off. Anyway, in issue number 4 of Kerrang! Magazine, this album was actually voted the greatest heavy metal album of all time.
Whoa. I'm glad I didn't subscribe.
You're the only one alive at the time.
Yeah, this album produced one single, Starstruck.
I didn't even know that, but I predicted that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, all right, let's jump into the metal rundown here. So, musicality here. Adrian, what'd you think?
So it's interesting that Richie Blackmore is the only, and Dio are the only 2 consistent members of the band, because, I mean, they're the only 2 members of the band that really stood out to me in any way, especially the guitarist, Blackmore. I didn't know he was in Deep Purple, and I can definitely see that, hear it. What else has this guy been in? Because he's fucking awesome, man. He didn't really stand out to me at first, but the guitar solos in the last 2 songs, which the names escape me, sorry.
Stargazer and Light in the Black.
Yeah, a Light in the Black, a Stargazer and a Light in the Black, especially like a Light in the Black, the guitar solo, and all the harmonies and all that shit at the end. Like, man, dude, like, when did this album come out? 76?
76, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I had no idea shit like that existed back then, dude.
Ahead of its time.
I know.
Way ahead of its time, and the guitarist got to be ahead of his time. So shit, man. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing in my life, not listening to more Rainbow or Deep Purple.
Deep Purple. Yeah.
But man.
See, I didn't realize either that Richie Blackmore was. And listen, I mean, flame us if you want to in the comments. This is a Metalhead's Journey. We're learning as we go. Okay, but I didn't realize Richie Blackmore was in this band, so it makes sense now to kind of go back to Metallica when they did the Ronnie James Dio medley, that they chose a lot of this because we know Lars's favorite band is Deep Purple, right? So I didn't realize at the time that there was a couple of threads woven in there that were really kind of bringing Metallica to that, but it makes a lot more sense, right? Dude, I get it. Like, some of the albums we've listened to on here are maybe a little bit more like forward metal, right? So maybe some of the Judas Priest albums from around here, Iron Maiden, right? This certainly kind of has like a bluesy hard rock thing to it, but which is pretty common around, like, for a lot of bands at this time, right? I mean, let's go back to what was it, Sad Wings of Destiny? Like, was that one of the first Judas Priest records we did? Where that was all bluesy, right? That wasn't even really like the Judas Priest that we're going to get on British Steel next week. Check us out, by the way, if you want to. Or, you know, some of the other Judas Priests that we did, right? This is more bluesy, and I think this kind of fit into that. But I feel like the real separator for this album is the riffs. I mean, dude, these are some monster riffs. Maybe I'm biased because I've heard like the updated production version of those riffs with Metallica playing them, but I still feel like you can hear just the real quality in the fucking, like, dude, like the riff in A Light in the Black, monster, so good. Like that opening riff, fucking so good, man.
Yes.
Yeah, and then obviously Stargazer as well. I mean, just great riffs, right? So, for me, like, look, Dio obviously great, stands out, but this is the Richie Blackmore show, as it should be. I mean, the name of the first album is Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. So, like, look, it's Richie Blackmore's band, and the guitar playing on this album is fucking great. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, you know, I feel like I'm going to echo a lot of what you two gentlemen said here, but I'll do it anyway. Musicality, I agree. This is completely the Richie Blackmore show. The guitar work is absolutely the standout, aside from Dio's vocals, which are very, very good and fit the overall tone of the entire record. I mean, I think personally, hot take, if you maybe, this is the best Dio performance that I have heard currently to date. I think it just fits.
Whoa. Did we have Heaven and Hell on here? We did have Heaven and Hell. What are you saying, Dave?
I stand by that statement because I think idiot. I think this fits better with this music as a backdrop. I think Dio's I think Dio's vocal.
I hate it here.
Look, it's my turn. I need you to stop. So, no, I think Dio's vocals and lyrics and everything. I'm not sure if he wrote the lyrics, but the lyrics that he sings anyway. Are very good and fit the songs very well. The riffs are very, very good. Josh, you mentioned this is kind of more of an old school, more of a classic metal album as we know it today, and I agree. And that was originally like a kind of it took me a second to really get to where I could enjoy the record. I had to get out of my own head a little bit and kind of push through some of that. But once I did, great musically. I couldn't be happier overall.
All right, so I guess I'll bring this around here and say that you said that there's 8 Rainbow records.
Yeah.
Is that what you said, Josh? I had never even heard of this band in my life, let alone this album. I thought this album is a product of its time. I wouldn't consider this heavy metal, but when you look at what the other bands are in this era of time, it fit. While I will agree that the highlight of the album as far as musicianship is the guitar work, none of this really worked for me. None of it jumped out at me. Like, I usually listen for bass. It's there, but I never heard anything that just wowed me. The drums are fine. The lyrics are fine. The singing is fine. Everything was fine.
Is it just like, I guess I'm trying to figure out your adversity to this. Is it just that you don't like good music?
No. I think what it is.
I'm confused, right? Because there's Venom, right, which you gave a good score to, and there's Emperor, right, and I mean those are terrible, like just absolute awful. Okay, and then you're here talking about Rainbow, saying, this doesn't work for me.
I think the reason why is because for me this is a very 70s rock album. Yeah. There's a lot of funk in this, blues and funk in this, especially on the very first song. And it just doesn't work. Even though I was born 2 years before this came out, this is not an era of music that I cared for.
Jason, did you have bell bottoms?
No, God, no. I would never wear bell bottoms ever.
Did you have a mullet? Because they're coming back.
No. Yeah. So I will say, like I said, I don't dislike this album. I thought the musicianship across the board was very fine, but I never had a moment. I never had a moment where any of this just like grabbed me by the balls and was like, "Oh shit, this is fantastic."
Oh
Not
man,
one time.
Yeah.
That album was fucking killer. What'd you think? It was very fun.
It was very fun.
Adrian, were you entertained? Is the question.
yes, I was very entertained actually. I think it's good shit, man. Again, it's very the guitarist just blew my ass away. It's a really easy listen.
That's a sentence.
We gotta clip that.
Yeah, really easy listen. I'm glad you think it's fine, Jason. I think
Very
it's
fine.
awesome.
Very
Very fine. No, I will say, let me catch these names of these two songs that are not my favorite, but even them, I'm gonna go with Starstruck and Do You Close Your Eyes. Here's the thing, is they're still fucking catchy as fuck. Like they're not even offensively bad songs to me. They're just they're just kind of on there. But still, like they can be playing in my car while I'm driving or whatever, and it's like it's totally fucking cool, man. There's definitely some master playlist material on this album. It's already been moved there, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, good shit.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, look, I think this is the shortest album on the list, right? I mean, this is a cool 33 and a half
It's an easy listen.
The best part of this
Right.
album.
And only 6 songs, which was surprising to me to start with. So, look, super good, very entertaining, very fun. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh, you stole my thunder here. The 33 minutes really makes it just an easy listen. And I, from an entertainment standpoint, just to reiterate something I already said a little bit, it was a grower, not a shower for me for this record. But once I kind of got over that, I thought it was really good. And the two middle songs do they're a small speed bump in my entertainment. But there's nothing wrong with them. And actually, I think Starstruck is just a catchy, like, classic rock song. And finding out that it was the single, not surprising at all. Do You Close Your Eyes is probably, a song that I would normally maybe skip, but otherwise entertainment value, totally there for me.
Still a catchy song.
Yeah.
Entertainment value for me is actually pretty much on par with you guys. Like it's easily to listen to in the background. That's what I found myself doing the last few listens through because I was trying to see if just one song would just grab hold. And again, entertainment value is fine with this album.
Just want to grab hold of your neck. Adrian, what are your top tracks, man?
All right, we're going to start with number 3, the opener. I think it's great. The guitar solo is fucking awesome. Again, kind of common theme with this album. It's catchy. Terror Woman. Number 2, Stargazer.
Hold on. What was the name of the song?
Terror Woman.
Tarot Woman.
Yeah, there you go.
Stargazer's number 2. Good opening riff. Great guitar solo. Number 1, The Light in the Black. I mean, just from start to finish, phenomenal fucking song. Good shit. I mean, it kind of blows everything out of that era's water, if you ask me. So
yeah, I had an honorable mention here. I had Tarot Woman as well. Very good song.
What's
number
that?
3 for me. Maybe a bit of a surprise here, but I had Run with the Wolf, man. I thought this was a cool song.
It's very good.
Yeah, super catchy. I love the vocals in it, and just I don't know. It just felt
Very
like a cool
classic
rock song.
style. Yeah.
Yeah, number 2 for me, Light in the Black, and number 1, Stargazer. Gotta be.
Yeah. My list is very close to Josh's. I flipped. I had Run with the Wolf as an honorable mention here. Tarot Woman, number 3. Light in the Dark, number 2. And Stargazer, number 1. Look, I'll say Starstruck would be my number 5 honorable mention because there's only 6 songs on this record. And the only song I would ever, I think, skip actively, like I said, would be Do You Close Your Eyes. But as far as like the top tracks, like Stargazer and Light in the Black, like those are like 1A, 1B for me.
Yep.
And they're the longest. I mean, they're literally they're like half the record. Those two songs.
It's 16 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So great songs from top to bottom. So loved it.
Number 3 for me, Starstruck. Very That was your little first kind of up tempo. Number 2 for me is a Light in the Black.
Nice.
Very good song. And number 1, I have to agree with Josh, Stargazer.
There we go. Almost a Stargazer sweep there at the top. I think Adrian would have Light in the Black first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that any of these songs are really skippers. Again, they're all very solid songs.
Yeah, production-wise here, it's very fine. The production's also very fine. Produced by a guy named Martin Birch, and I mean, look, I think it sounds like you would think it would coming out at this time. Yeah. So Dave, what was the deal with the variations, like the LA mix, the New York mix?
I can't speak too intelligently on that, but based on at some point this record was remixed. And there is like a New York mix and an LA mix, and based on the research I did, it seemed like the LA mix was the recommended mix of the two. Now I listened to them, full disclosure, on Spotify. I listened to both of them. Like I listened to like Terror Woman like back to back, once the LA mix and once the New York mix, and it like maybe I'm just not intelligent, but it was very hard for me to discern like the big differences between the two. But I just stuck. I just stuck with the LA mix because that's what I read online was the preferred of the two, in like generally speaking. So,
say in my car, there's virtually no difference. Maybe with headphones, I'd be able to tell, but in my car, no. I don't know what the fucking difference was. But I did the New York mix.
All right. Hey, final category here. Let's get into legacy and give our metal scores here, Adrian.
So this does belong on this list. It's a good fucking album. I think it's it's a what is it called? Not Pathfinder, but
Trailblazer.
Trailblazer. Thank you. I shit with my words today. Terror Woman. All right, and yes, I do want to listen to more. I don't know about more Rainbow per se, but Dio and Richie Blackmore, I'm fucking interested, man. I'm giving this a 7.
Oh, score. All right. Yeah, Dave, I would say this album definitely belongs on the list. I am absolutely interested in listening to more Rainbow. Problem is Dio does leave the band at some point, and so what does that sound like? I don't know. So I'd be interested in checking that out for sure, but super good record. I'm coming in here at a 7.3.
All right. Yeah, guys. Josh, I think you kind of nailed it there. I mean, I also think it belongs on the list. I didn't initially, but I do now. And I am interested in hearing more of Ronnie era Rainbow. I'm hoping he's on there a few times with them. And I also came in at a 7.3.
Oh.
So, which full disclosure, I should have said this before we gave our scores, but, that is the way we do our scoring. Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. Jason, go ahead.
All right. So, again, fine record. I'm going to give it a fine score. I do believe that it belongs on the list. Basically because you can hear influences for other bands that came across later, as well as other big bands that were going on at this time, that they share some similarities or sounds. I gave this a 6.3.
Oh, that's better than I thought. All right. I thought you were gonna give it something. I thought you were gonna give it something in the 5s. I was gonna be like, "What do you mean, a fine 0.3?"
So, but are you gonna listen to more?
I wouldn't go out of my way.
Okay. All right. So that gives us an average score of a 6.98. So look, hey, before you come at us in the comments about how that's a terrible score, let me explain to you our rating system. So how we rate things is anything 5 or above is something we would consider a recommendation, varying degree of a recommendation. Anything below a 5 is varying degree of no, we don't think you should listen to that, or we don't like that. So for us, something that would be considered like an average album that we, may listen to once and think it's very fine would be like a 5 or 5.1. That's like an average score. So in this case, our 6.98 on our score, or on our scale rather, is considered a B tier record, right? So that's a very fair score.
Yeah, what's the album like directly above this, directly below it? Where's it fit?
So like the previous record we did, Slayer, also B tier, Seasons in the Abyss. Another B tier, Metallica's Kill 'Em All, B tier record. Another B tier would be Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance, which got the exact same score as this record.
Whoa.
6.98. So if you need some references for what we consider a B tier, there you go. So it's in good company.
All right. Well, hey, man, that was fun. Another cool record. Coming up next week, we have Judas Priest, British Steel. Right, so hopefully you join us for that one next week. Hey, hope you like the content here. If you did, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. We're putting out weekly metal content. We got metal reactions, metal reviews. Hey, we got some fun stuff in the works too coming down the line here. So hope you keep checking us out. In the meantime, live long and prosper.
Take it easy, everybody.
See you.
Later.